Hi gorgeous people, today I want to talk about the overwhelming information that gets thrown at us about skincare. About what's good for our skin, what we should be using, what we shouldn't be using. I've got a lot on my mind about this and how confusing it can be for people who are not sure where to start, where to turn to for their skincare advice on just how muddled everything can become. First off, before we get started, I'd just like to say I am a trained aesthetician. I have my diploma from ITEC, which is an internationally recognised diploma. I do have an understanding of how the skin works and different procedures that are used for skin health. What I am trying to put to you guys is that for everything you hear, you need to take on board everything you hear and think about what is right for yourself. Now we have dermatologists, we have aestheticians, we have facialists, we have beauty gurus who are now calling themselves skincare enthusiasts, but who do you listen to? I just love the subject of skincare and skin health and how we can do things for our skin, that I watch nearly every YouTube channel I can get my hands on to soak in that information. Now what does come confusing, and if I get confused when I have a background or some knowledge with esthetician work and how the skin works, I really feel sorry for those people out there who are looking to this sort of information for help and they come away far more confused. The reason I want to say that is you have got dermatologists, you've got Dr. David Lim, you've got Dr. Stephanie Capel, you've got Dr. Dre, and many more. But they're all dermatologists, but they have different views of what you should and shouldn't be using. That is when I feel you have to take on board all the information, all the knowledge that they're giving you, and try and decide, and I know this is hard, but try your best to decide what is best for you. Please be wary of beauty gurus and skin enthusiasts, and that includes myself. If I offer advice, it is only advice from my personal experience, what works on my skin, what I have used over the years to decide what works best for me and what doesn't. There are some choices in skincare that I make that are personal to me that the next person may not have the same view on skincare as I do. So you really do need to pick the nuggets of gold out from everything that you hear. The facialists the aestheticians that I love watching on YouTube are Nerida Joy, Caroline Hirons, Jordan Samuel. They're just a handful of facialists and aestheticians that I really enjoy. So Caroline Hirons is a facialist and is internationally qualified, and she's been a facialist for many years. She has worked with brands that she knows the inner workings, she knows how the skin performs, so her knowledge is based on years and years of experience. Nerida Joy is a facialist who has had experience for 38 years working with skin. I enjoy watching her videos because she takes you through the actual process while working on a client, explaining things about your skin and why things work and why things don't. She is highly knowledgeable on the skin and how things work. Then you've got Jordan Samuel. Once again, he is an aesthetician. He has his own skincare line based on things he's learnt working with people and getting to know the way skin works. You have someone like Brianna Stanko, who has a wonderful YouTube channel. She is the owner of Premier Look, and she stocks and sells a lot of medical grade skincare. She's got to know a lot about these products through having a lot of interaction with the people who create the products that she sells, plus through personal use of her own. She is creating her own skincare line, and she is quite knowledgeable on skincare as well. But you also have the wealth of knowledge from actual doctors and dermatologists. I have been watching a lot of Brianna Stanko's videos and then have come across two people who I really admire. You've got Ben Johnson, who is at the helm of Osmosis Skincare. Then you have Ben Fuchs. He is the founder of the Truth Treatments skincare line. Now these two gentlemen, highly knowledgeable about the skin, and they come from different angles of your health and well-being and your skin health, do have quite differing views on skincare. One of them swears by retinol and the other thinks it's one of the most damaging things on our skin. You have to weigh up for yourself what is going to work for you. It can get so overwhelming and so confusing. So you've got one person saying vitamin A is the best thing since sliced bread. Then you've got somebody else in the medical industry saying that actually no, don't use it on your face. All in all, most people say vitamin A is the most researched and documented skincare ingredient to help with anti-aging. So I tend to err more on the fact that I think that is a good way to go, and there is a lot of science that backs that information. You have these dermatologists, you have Dr. Dre, you have Stephanie Capel, you have Dr. David Lim. You have other dermatologists that are giving you advice. If you listen really closely, some of these people differ within each other about what they think is best for your skin. So it just gets really, really overwhelming. Then you've got your products. Okay, you've got vitamin C. You've got L-ascorbic acid. You've got tetrahexyldecyl. You've got ascorbate, tetraisopalmitate. You've got other forms of vitamin C. Some are stable, some are not. Some are affordable, some are really not. There is one item I would love to try by Truth Treatments, but it is about probably by the time I get it here in New Zealand and I pay the exchange rate from US dollars, and I would have to pay duty on it because it's quite expensive. I think it's 199 US dollars. It would end up costing me around 400 New Zealand dollars. Well, that's a week's wages for me, so how the hell do I pay my mortgage that week? So you really have to weigh up what is affordable. You know, I would rather use something affordable and something I know that is effective on my skin than thinking I have to buy this wholly expensive product for my skin to be benefited from. I just can't justify a whole week's wages on a 30ml bottle of serum. Other places that you can get sources from YouTube from, you've got Dr. Mona Vand. She is a pharmacist and she has some wonderful information and point of view on skin health. You have Gothamista, who, if you are into Asian and Korean skincare, has been in the buying and developmental industry for the beauty industry for at least 10 years. She is a great source of knowledge when it comes to the Asian skincare market. Stephanie Nicole I absolutely love from her perspective. She looks into ingredients and she tries things. She gives in-depth reviews. I do enjoy her, but then you've still got these aestheticians, facialists and dermatologists and doctors that can give you lots of information as well. You've also got Lab Muffin Beauty and Science, and she has got a PhD in chemistry. So there's all this information that you can get from people who are in the skincare industry. So I say with caution, take all your advice. I would suggest take some of your advice more from those that are qualified rather than somebody who isn't qualified, and that, as I said, includes myself. Yes, I am a qualified aesthetician. I am not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a chemist. My recommendations are more based on what I know from an aesthetician point of view, what I know from my own personal skin health and experience, rather than having a generic you should use this, you shouldn't use this. Some of my choices are made because I'm trying to eliminate certain ingredients from my skincare. For example, Dr. Dre recommends some amazing affordable skincare. Most of those I personally won't use because they have the inclusion of PEGs. She has no problem with PEGs and some other ingredients in products, and she's a dermatologist. So she's really happy with that. On research for myself and having had a close call with breast cancer, I don't want to use anything that is an ingredient that is a hormone mimicker and can raise my estrogen levels and can be more detrimental for reproductive cancers. I just don't want to add those. If I don't have to, I'm not going to. So these are the sorts of things that can confuse the bejeebers out of you, but you need to take on all the information for yourself and make your own informed decisions. If you want to take it further from hearing the advice from these people who are knowledgeable and who have their qualifications to give you that sort of information, you can do your own reading on the FDA website. The FDA is the US-based website that tells you the parameters of certain ingredients and products, etc., etc. So you can follow up with studies that the FDA have done. I still personally like the EWG website. A lot of people don't. They say they're scaremongering. What I like about EWG is that you can get an overview very quickly, but they do give you at the bottom of the description or their layout on a ingredient, you can go and read any of the articles and the backup information if you want more information for your own peace of mind. So yes, they are very overly cautious, but I pick out anything that is around female reproductive issues, and then I will read the papers and the documentation related to that they give links to. So I take that on myself to read that information and do with that information what I will. So I just want to reassure everybody that yes, there is a lot of information, there is a lot of conflicting information, but there is a lot of great information out there that you can glean for yourself what you want to take from it for your own skin health. Now, anything that you take on board comes down to the fact of what is within your budget, what your particular skin needs, what are your issues. Is it anti-aging? Is it acne? Is it rosacea? You need to glean all this information and pick at it and identify what is specific to you. And I think there are a lot of options out there, whether you can get something affordable or whether you want to go medical grade and you are able to step up to that mark and look after your skin. You don't have to though. There are a lot of affordable options and there's a lot of information out there to help you and guide you along the way. I will leave links down below to a lot of these channels. I will put beside them whether they are a dermatologist, a facialist, an aesthetician, biochemist, pharmacist. I have written down everything about these people that will help you decide where you would like to glean your information. I just want to caution you to not take everyone's information as gospel, and that we have to take care of our skin and be mindful that not everything you hear is the best information. And if you are going to listen to information about your skin, your health or anything like that, that I recommend that we look to more of the people who are experienced and qualified to give us that information. When you are looking at ingredients, as I said, you really need to think about what is being said to you. For instance, natural or vegan doesn't always mean it's safe. For example, poison ivy and other nasty plants are natural and they're not good for you. They're the last thing you need to have anywhere near your skin. So just because something says it's natural or vegan doesn't mean it should be used and doesn't mean that it is safe on your skin. A lot of natural products can be very inflammatory and so shouldn't be anywhere near your skin for the risk of inflammation. There are 825 known allergens to us and the majority of them are from natural sources. So that is another area of skincare that you do need to be wary of. Just because it's natural, green, clean, you need to investigate a little bit more and make sure that it is right for you and that it is effective. Something else that I am really conscious of too is that there are a lot of products out there who say, oh my gosh, I'm full of antioxidants, I've got vitamin A, C, E, and I've got peptides and all these sorts of things. There's two things that I would be wary of. Make sure, and this is where, you know, something that I think a lot of people don't look at. They see all the good ingredients on the label, but they don't see that for as many good ingredients on the label, there are other ingredients that may be detrimental to your skin health. Now for me, that would mean anything that's polyethylene glycol, whether it has fragrance or alcohol or parabens. The reason I don't personally like parabens is because it's an estrogen mimicker and can contribute to breast cancer, and from what I have been hearing is that breast tumours that have been cut open have been found to have parabens within that tumour. That scares the bejeebers out of me, so I'm just not using anything and I have to look into that more, but I'm going to just make sure that I don't have parabens in any of my products. Now then you get a dermatologist who I believe I watched Stephanie Capel, who was in, I'll leave a link down below to her drugstore shopping of skincare product, and she's not scared of those items at all for skin. But I'm sorry, after having breast surgery, I ain't touching the stuff. So that's an example of I've made a choice for myself that I would rather not use something with parabens because of the risk to breast cancer, even though a dermatologist has said they don't see anything wrong with that. So it's all about personal choice and making the decisions that are right for you. My biggest issue of why I don't use PEGs or polyethylene glycols is that even within the FDA regulations, you might use a product and they've produced it well within the parameters of the FDA of having the minimum amount of PEGs in them to be dangerous or to be at risk for you. This is just my thinking, but if I'm using 4 products in a row, I'm layering, or I'm using in my skincare routine and they all each have the minimum parameter of that ingredient that is under the level of being at risk to you. If you're layering them though, have you gone 4 times over that risk? And does that mean that you have gone above that risk factor because your skin has absorbed 4 times the amount of the safe legal dose? That is another reason why I will stay away from it. Just because it is deemed to be safe at a certain level of what's in the ingredient, if I am using more than one ingredient with that product, or if I'm using more than one product with that ingredient in it, I am exacerbating the amount that is getting in through my skin. Now, something that I do want to talk about is, yes, things get in through your skin. Best way to describe it is nicotine patches. Okay, you put a nicotine patch on you and that is absorbing into your bloodstream. Same with our skincare, we're putting stuff on our skin, it is absorbing into our bloodstream. The very classic example is my daughter, who had surgery recently, was very, very ill after surgery, and none of the anti-nausea medication they gave her worked. They put a patch behind her ear, and within 30 seconds her heart rate came down and she was feeling better. That's how quickly whatever it was on that patch entered into her bloodstream. So if we're putting ingredients and products on our skin, it is getting into our bloodstream. There is a study that recently came out that they have proven that chemical sunscreens, after I'll try and find the link to that study and leave it down below, that they can prove that those chemicals do get within the bloodstream after a certain amount of time. So we just need to be very mindful about what we are putting on our skin. Our poor liver has to deal with everything we put it through in its normal day-to-day, of having to break down our adrenaline, our other synthetic loads that go through our bodies. They have to work on that. If we're using alcohol, we've got to break that down. Now, if we're adding skincare and things like that, we are just putting an extra load onto our liver, and it's working a lot harder, and it can't deal with what it should be doing on an everyday basis just to keep us alive and healthy. So my recommendation to you is to choose what fits your lifestyle, whether that be affordability, whether that be for your specific skin type, lifestyle choices, so whether you want to choose cruelty-free, vegan, natural, just make sure that you are being very well informed, but there are options for everybody and where they want to go in their skincare routines. I hope I didn't confuse you even more with this video, but I want to give you options of where you can look if you are truly just a YouTube sort of person that likes to get your information from YouTube videos. As I said, I will leave links below to all those YouTube videos. I will also leave links down below to some of the websites I recommend, that if you're wanting to look into ingredients a little bit more, that you can. If you have any other recommendations for me of people that I might not have caught up with yet on great skincare advice, please let me know down in the comments below. I am a sponge for trying to learn as much as I can. Okay, I think I've probably overwhelmed everybody with all of that, but I do hope I've shed a little bit of light on the importance of researching your skincare products, researching your skincare ingredients, and if somebody recommends something, just making sure that it is right for you, and that you are happy to use that product in your skincare routine, and making sure that it is beneficial, it is going to make a difference, and that it is not harmful to you as well. I hope you did enjoy that, guys, and if you would like me to elaborate on anything else, please let me know in the description box down below. This has more just come from me thinking, oh my gosh, there is so much information out there, and there's so much conflicting information, that if someone like myself who has a background in skincare can think, hold on a minute, that's not what I thought was the story, or gee, that's different to what this person has said. I'm sure it's blooming confusing to a lot of other people who just want to know what is best for them. Thanks for joining me, guys. If you want to see any other videos from me, please feel free to tap or click on either of these icons here. I do hope you've had a beautiful and a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you next time. See you later, guys. Bye.